So now, first of all, I would like to request Mr. Shahbaz Hamid, Director PSCB, to kindly start with his opening remarks, and then we will move further. Ji, Mr. Shahbaz, please.
Thank you so much, Abrar, and thank you everybody and Assalamu alaikum for coming to the webinar, taking out this time on a Monday morning to be here. Thank you so much. As you all know that Pakistan Software Export Board with Trade Development Authority Pakistan does various events all over the world, and this event, Japan IT Week, is a very important event for us. We have been going on this event for the past 3 years. The last in 2023, we had around 11 companies which showcased and exhibited at the event and got good amount of leads and business generated. In 2024, again, we had an exhibition in which we had 5 companies who went. Because what happens usually is that we usually announce this event in February or March. But this time we have done this way before time so that we can get the visas and we can pre-plan Japan. This year, what we are doing is obviously Suzuki-san will go in details in that. He is here from RX Japan, who are the organizers of the event, and he will give you more details on what we're doing this year. But what I can tell you, we are having a 24.3 square meter pavilion. We are not exhibiting. It's going to be a delegation. We're going to take more people with us, and that spot will be for meetings and for sitting down and networking. And we'll be roaming around in the event and meeting different people. JICA really supports us. Our TIC is very active, Trade Investment Council, Madam Madiha, she's also in this call. They're all very supportive. They will help you connect, network, collaborate with various people and various companies so that we get the maximum value for our money. Most importantly, Japan is in the top 20 highest exporting countries of Pakistan. We export 22 million worth of dollars to Japan, which in my eyes, is very low. We need to increase this amount, and that's why we want to take more people with us to Japan IT Week this year. To be exact, they're the 14th highest exporter for us in ITES. So I won't take much time. I would now like to give Madam Adiha the floor, after which Suzuki-san will tell us about what Japan IT Week is, what it holds for us, and so on and so forth. And after that, the JICA team, the Deloitte team will tell you more about Japan and its dynamics. So over to you, Madam Adiha.
Right. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shahbaz Saab, for letting me interact with the participants over here today. Thank you, Suzuki-san, and everybody for joining us today for the Japan IT Week Initiation Seminar. We had a wonderful turnout last time for the Japan IT Week, and I believe that Japan, being a very promising market for the Pakistani IT experts, IT engineers, IT service providers, it holds a lot of opportunity. As I would not go into the data and statistics, I believe that all the participants that are over here are well versed with the current dynamics of the Japanese market, and I would thoroughly encourage all the participants here to sign up for the Japan IT Week. There are multiple opportunities in software development, in hardware support, as well as offshore support services. A lot of the Japan companies are looking for engineers and service providers who can manage and provide these services. And I feel that the Pakistani IT sector has a lot of potential to contribute towards the Japanese market. One of my requests to the participants here today who are interested in participating in the Japan IT Week would be to come well prepared in terms of language and material that is to be used for the publication and the publicizing of your projects, as the consumers over here and the visitors would require information in the Japanese language. Please do get it your material and information professionally translated, not Google translation. So that would really add value and help with your marketing in the Japanese market. I would also request that please let me know if you require any assistance from the trade mission in initial meeting setups. If there is any company you would like us to help approach prior networking and scheduling of meetings would definitely give a better outcome for your participation in the Japan IT Week. If there is any questions regarding your participation, your visit to Japan, understanding the market, I will share my email ID in the chat box for you to reach out to me with your questions. And without further ado, I would hand over to the actual organizers of the event and the experts in the IT sector to educate and to create more awareness on the dynamics of the Japan IT sector. Thank you.
So, if you may, please.
Okay,
Yes.
so now can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so thank you, Ms. Maniha, and I'm happy to work again and also to welcome the Pakistan Pavilion to Japan IT Week again. And so let me share my screen to tell a little bit about the event. Just wait, trying to find the link. Cannot find the brochure, but so anyway, then just then show you about the. Can you see this?
Yes, we can, Suzuki-san.
Yeah, okay, well, now, well, every year Pakistan has been participating in our software sector of the Japan IT Week. And this year, the show has becoming even more international compared with the other years because there's also the Expo Osaka, and also many countries are also having a very strong attention in Japan. So as Mr. Shabazz has said, so this year the Pakistan Pavilion here is 24.3 square meter. So it's not a large pavilion. It's going to be more like a delegation type as a meeting point here. But so the usual participants are also exhibiting again here. In the Bangladesh having like a 12 units, Vietnam also having 12 units, Sri Lanka coming back this year with 6 units, and then Poland exhibiting for the first time with 8 units, and then Armenia exhibiting for the first time with 6 units, and then also India participating with around 10 units. And so, and not listed here yet, but also there's going to be China and also the Philippines to be exhibiting at this event. So Japan IT Week is the largest IT show in Japan. It's held 4 times a year, and it's held in spring in April, October, also in Tokyo, and we also do it in Osaka and Nagoya for the regional shows. And the spring show, the April one, is the biggest show and held with around 12 events held together under the umbrella of Japan IT Week. So software is the most international part, but we also have other parts like for the AI, like DX digital transformation, data-driven, and also others like human resources, edge computing, information security, data center, and also others. So that's why, so when you come to Japan, what I also want you to do is that, so try to network with as many as Japanese companies, because most of the Japanese people have a difficulty of the shortage of the labor. So that's why Japanese companies, well, I'll say 15 years before, most of the partnership was China. And then it shifted to Vietnam and now shifting to like India and Bangladesh. So that's why there's a very strong potential for the Pakistanese companies to also do more business with the Japanese companies, because we're a country that have a shortage of labor, especially for the IT specialists. And that's what you have in Pakistan. So I think that for the market information will be described more from the Deloitte colleagues, but as Ms. Ali Mariha also mentioned, what is important in a trade show in Japan is how to deal with the language. So when you go to Europe and US, of course you can do everything in English. But in Japan, many people understand English, but don't speak English fluently. And Japanese people don't want to make mistakes. That's why, so even though when you speak to them in English, they understand, but they don't want to speak English. That's why it's very important to have something prepared in Japanese. And then once you have a context in Japanese, then for the follow-up, it's going to be able for you to communicate by email in English for the follow-up, because Japanese people are very good in grammar and also about the English writing skills. So when you come to Japan with the support of the Embassy of Pakistan, I really hope that you can have good meetings and also have something prepared in Japanese so that it's going to be much easier for you to communicate and also to get the first contact with the Japanese people. Then I'm quite sure that so the business between the Japanese IT sector and also with the Pakistan IT sector will be growing and developing even more. The first time when I met with PSEB was 4 years before, and I'm happy to work with PSEB again, and also together with the support with the Pakistan Embassy and also with the Deloitte, I really hope that you're going to have a very fruitful business at our event. And then I'm going to pass it to my colleagues, my friends from Deloitte, so that they can also tell you about the marketing information and how you should be more prepared at the event.
Thank you, Suzuki-san, for your valuable words. Now I will request Kogor-san to please take the lead. Kogor-san, please.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so I will just present the general information about the Japanese market. So can I share my screen? Okay. Yeah, thank you. So what, good morning again, and assalamu alaikum. Well, actually, I have done this kind of seminar to ICT industry in Pakistan twice already. And since this occasion is for participating Japan IT Week, I will make a very brief, concise version of my presentation to just recap your knowledge about the Japanese market. So what in terms of the overview of ICT market in Japan, so you can see here the Japanese market in terms of the market size is roughly the same as UK, and it's also roughly 1/5 of the US market. That's what you can imagine. And if you think of the software market in Japan, it's very steadily growing, and we have a very healthy forecast. So that you will have more opportunity to enter Japanese market. Well, and the major trend in the ICT market in Japan is like this. Most of the companies in Japan are now eager to adopt more digital technologies, and they actually want to do some sort of digital transformation. However, as Suzuki-san said, there are very big problem in Japan, that is a shortage of IT engineers, so that they cannot actually proceed with the actual transformation. So that's where your companies in Pakistan can have the chance. And other major trend in ICT market in Japan includes cyber security sectors and AI, of course, and IoT. Because Japan is a manufacturing oriented country, so that there are many manufacturers, and they have the various kind of hardware products. But since they don't have the software engineer, they cannot apply the software technology into their hardware product. That's the problem. What? So, yeah, as Suzuki-san already told to you, but we have a very severe shortage of the IT human resources, and the problem will grow very rapidly in the future, so that we have approximate nearly 1 million of shortage of IT engineers or IT human resources in Japan in 2030. So that, yeah, we need the human resource. And how normally normal typical Japanese companies try to secure those human resources? They are trying to recruit the mid-career person, or now it's a trend to recruit the foreign human resources. However, there's one question, as Suzuki-san said, that Japanese language is the biggest barrier for this sector. And and also temporary staffing is very growing. So that as far as you have some sort of strategy to overcome the language barrier, then you will have more chance in Japanese market. And another chance for Pakistani ICT industry, I would say, is that typically Japanese companies doesn't have internal IT teams to develop their own software for their companies. So they must rely on the external IT vendors or software solution providers. That's another area that Pakistani ICT industry will have the chance. Okay, so in terms of the sectors in Japan, as you can see here, in terms of the GDP percentage, GDP share, manufacturing is the biggest industry in Japan, and yeah, next is the wholesale and real estate. Those industries are the major sectors in Japan, and I would say that all those sectors are now needs the solution for software and ICT digital transformation. And their industries are also very eager to invest on the IT sectors, so that they will have they are willing to spend more budget to the IT investment and the softwares. Okay, and well, I will not go into the detail, but manufacturing is of course, the biggest sectors. And but manufacturing is a little bit special sector, so that you cannot just apply for the general purpose IT solutions like ERP or CRM, those things just for back office. But you need to think about the production site, and you need some specialized software or system. That's the precaution for the manufacturing sector. And for financial sector, I would say that banking system is a little bit dominated by some Japanese big IT vendors, so that you may not have a big chance in this sector. But in terms of the personal service or financial service, you may have some area to enter. And wholesale retail market are also big, and the medical market is very big in Japan in terms of the hardware production, so that the only thing we need is the software, the advanced software to work with those hardware. So that's another potential area. And I would say that in Japan, Tokyo is not the only destination that you should think, but all major cities in Japan, they eagerly need the software web production on the software needs software engineers. So that I would recommend to consider entering some regional area instead of the Tokyo, so that you may have even better chance in those areas. Okay, and these are just the source of information that you can refer in English regarding the Japanese industries. Anyway, I will share this slide later to all of you. But as everybody knows, the biggest challenge is the Japanese language. And I would say that Japanese English proficiency is very weak, even comparing with other non-English speaking countries. And listening is, of course, much better than others, but speaking is very bad. So that some companies may think that can we use AI translation for that? Okay, I'm an AI engineer, but I would say that the quality of the AI translation is not still satisfactory. So because Japanese language is a kind of context-driven language, so that computer just cannot translate some very implicit content of the Japanese. That's why we need a professional human translation for your marketing materials if you are trying to prepare those for the Japan IT Week. Okay, and another problem in Japanese business market is that they tend to have a very long decision-making process. So even if you will succeed to have some agreement or consensus to go or to proceed with the business collaboration, it might take longer time than you would expect. So it would sometimes take a month or even a year to make a final decision for Japanese companies. What I will just go quickly. And well, this is actually the hypothesis of business collaboration model with Japan, between Pakistan and Japan. And there are three possible cases. One is that your company, ICT company, will directly do the collaboration with the English capable clients. But unfortunately, there are not so many of them in Japan. So in order to approach the majority of the Japanese client, you need to do something with the Japanese language barrier. So one possibility is to have some bridge human resources that who can translate the business conversation and the negotiation. And another possibility is to have a kind of partner company in Japan or agent that can absorb the language barrier or culture, business culture things, so that you can just communicate with this intermediate company using English with the Western kind of business culture. So though within those three possibilities, I would say that Japanese human resources for the bridge person is not in a good state now, because as you can see here, Pakistani people who have been in Japan and who has experience in Japan is very rare. So that it will be very difficult to find capable Japanese speaking human resources in Japan. So that's a problem. Yeah, and if you look at this, the Vietnam is has a very abundant Japanese speaking people, even engineers, so that they are now succeeded in entering Japanese market. What? And this slide shows the potential sectors that does not need cultural adaptation so much, so that you can consider what entering the Japanese market. The biggest one is, of course, offshore development through partner companies in Japan. This is I think, the easiest or the most potential for the Pakistani ICT industry. But others includes like a game or gamification or graphics area that does not need language adaptation or cultural adaptation so much compared with other sectors. Or some vertical fintech solutions or embedded systems. As I told you, in Japan, there are so many manufacturing companies, industry factories. They produce the hardware, but they need software to work with them. So those are another potential area. However, this slide shows not so promising areas like general purpose business solutions, ERP, CRM, SFA, those kind of things, because eh, yeah, as everybody says, we typical Japanese businessman must work in Japanese environment. Everything must be in Japanese. That's the fact. So that if you plan to localize your product, you must localize everything, including the business cultures to Japanese market, and that will be very costly. So that I would not recommend this kind of area. And another non-recommended area is accounting or legal type of system, because they must comply with the Japanese regulations that may be very different from other Western countries, and others are listed here. Okay, so I said that offshore development market is the most promising, and these are the statistics about the offshore market in Japan. So Japan offshore market in Japan, in terms of the world offshoring market share, it's pretty big. Yeah, of course, not as big as United States, North America, but still, it has a very big portion. And the target industry sector of offshore ring in Japan is like this. Okay, and currently the most projects are going to Vietnam. Vietnam is by far the biggest portion in the offshoring market in Japan. And yeah, the next is the Philippines and India, Bangladesh. Bangladesh is now rapidly growing actually. So that these countries are start doing offshore business in Japan. Okay, and these are the typical type of systems for offshoring. And what for your information, this is the table for offshore development human resource cost in Japan. And due to the weakening of Japanese yen, the price is going rising rapidly, because this figure is actually measured in Japanese yen. Okay. So how to find partners in Japan? Well, there are several ways to find partners in Japan. And the first one is public organization and bigger companies, because they tend to choose the partner by public or limited tenders. And some of them accept foreign companies as well without having the intermediate agency or company. So yeah, and for there are so many government projects also, so that you can search for the WTO agreement type of the project, and it is open to any foreign companies. This is one way. And but many Japanese private companies prefer choosing partners by referral. This is another Japanese cultural aspect, but uh, they don't trust the first comer to their companies. And if your company has some experience with Japanese companies before, and you got some referral from that company, it will be very easy to enter that company. And if you want to try some online B2B platform, matching platform, you can try these things, but I would say that they are not so effective. And well, now today, everybody is gathering here to consider entering Japanese trade show, especially Japan IT Week. That is the biggest trade show in Japan. Okay, and as everybody says, you need some translation or interpretation if when you want to participate in the event, and in case you want to find some interpreter on demand, there are several services that you can hire those interpreter by hours, by days, something like that. Okay, and some of you, or especially if you are a rather big company, you may want to directly contact the big companies in Japan. And if you want to know the list of those rather larger companies, you can refer to these information. Okay, and so if you have succeeded to get some first contact, by email or by meeting with people in Japan, then what kind of soft messaging tools you should use? And well, I know that WhatsApp is the very popular tool in the world. But in Japan, WhatsApp is very rare, and most of the people, more than 90% of people are using Line. That is very Japanese specific messaging app, and followed by Twitter. So the landscape of the messaging app in Japan is quite different from the global trend. So that and well, another important factor is that LinkedIn is not popular at all in Japan, so that you may not find the contact person in LinkedIn network. So that's the problem actually. So that I would recommend that if you have at least email, then you can use email for primary communication. And if you want to do some real-time chatting, then you may have to consider one of these types of the messaging app in Japan. Okay, and what this is just a situation of the office or workplace software. As I told you, everything in Japan is translated translated into Japanese. So typical Japanese business person are using Japanese in their work. They are not accustomed to use English in any application in their PC. That's the problem. Okay, so if you want to find detailed information about how to enter Japan, you can the biggest resource is the Investing in Japan. That is the website of the JETRO. So this is by far the best source of information. And if you are interested in investing to Tokyo, then you can also visit this website. And as I told you, many major cities in Japan, they are eager to attract foreign investment and foreign companies to go to enter, so that you can refer to those regional information. And that's all for my brief catch up of the Japanese situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Kubur-san. Thank you for highlighting the important aspect of Japanese market. Now I will request Imura-san to please shed some light on the Sushi Tech event which is happening in Japan, specifically designed for the startups. Imura-san, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so the one is the last session, right? Okay, so my presentation is limited just 5 minutes. Yeah. So
Sure.
I'd like, yeah. So apart from Japan IT Week, we're gonna organize the the biggest innovation event in Tokyo, Japan in May 2025, called Sushi Tech Tokyo. Yeah. So let me share the screen. And I have already shared these materials with PSEB and Ignite. Yeah, so I hope like they're gonna share this material with you as well. Yeah, but anyway, you can see the detail later. Okay, so let me briefly explain about Sushi Tech Tokyo. Yep. So as I said, this is like a biggest Asian innovation related event in Japan, and we're gonna organize this event in cooperation with the Tokyo Metropolitan Government. Yep. And we're gonna do that in 8 to 9 of May 2025 in Tokyo Big Site, which is one of the biggest the venue located in Tokyo, Japan. And Sushi Tech Tokyo will consist of the programs like the keynote session, the pitch competition, booth exhibition, and business matchmaking the meetings with some business player. Also like a showcase of your technology to like an audience. With the more than 500 exhibitors, especially the global exhibitors including Asia, US, and EU. And also, we had more than 2,000 investors. Also, we had more than 40,000 participants last year. And we could support the setting up more than 5,000 business meetings, especially between startups and corporation and investor and public sector. Yeah, and we hope we have more numbers of these like a KPI this year. So this figure was about like last year's one, 2024. Yep. And okay, so as I said, the participants mainly consist of 50% Asian, including Japan, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and South Asia as well. And another 15% from US and EU. Yeah, so like more than 80% consisting of like Asian, US, and EU. And the business category of the participants, the mainly consisted of startups and large corporations and VC. Yeah. So I am very much sure if you join this program, you can see the lots of large corporation, also VC and investors, which is engaged with something related to the innovations. Yeah. And also, okay. So if you join this event, what you can get is mainly two things. One is the pitch contest opportunity. It's going to be conducted in English, and 20 companies like short selected from more than 100 domestic and meaning like Japanese and international startups that could pass that would pass the like a screening process. Yeah, and what is more important is the price, meaning like a grant, is like a 10 million JPI, meaning 100K USD, 100,000 USD. So like a pitch contest opportunity, that is one you can get also experience in this event. And second one is, as I said, you can set up your own like a startup booth to conduct a business discussion with participants, also like to conduct like a PR activities of your solution and the product. And once you pay like 25,000 JPY, meaning like 25万 like 2,000 USD. Once you pay 2,000 USD, you can have a right. You can set up your own startup booth in the exhibition space. Yep. So again, what you can get experience through this event is, one is the pitch contest, and second is like a opportunity for booth exhibition. So yeah, that's it from my side. So I'm looking forward to seeing lots of startups from Pakistan as well. Oh, sorry, one more thing. I'd like to, I'm gonna share the application form for booth exhibition and startup pitch event in the chat box. Yeah, so if you are interested, happy to have your application. And also, maybe the email it's gonna be sent from PSEB and Ignite also include this application as I shared. Yeah, so no worries. Okay, so that's it from my side. Back to you, Hassan. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Imura-san. Thank you very much for all the participants for joining this call, for the speakers. So now we have 10-15 minutes remaining in this call. Anyone has any question regarding what has been presented over here? Can you raise your hand, so I will call your name and then you can start with your question. And meanwhile, we by the time we see first question, just an update that the extension deadline for Japan IT Week has been extended till 17 January. I've already shared the newsletter, the advertisement picture in chat box. I'll also share the updated newsletter along with recording of this session after the session is over. I think everything is crystal clear. I haven't have any questions as yet. So, okay, so I can see one question in the chat box that says, do our Japanese friends recommend a resource from where they may learn the language enough to communicate before the event? So, anyone from the Japanese side, Kuguru-san, Hajime-san, anyone, is there any recommended site or resource from where Pakistani people who like eager to explore the Japanese market can learn Japanese language enough so they can communicate with the Japanese counterparts?
Okay, so yeah, this is Kogure, and I would answer this question. As for the general information, not only the Japanese language, but also for the Japanese culture, business culture, and other required procedures, those things. The most recommended resource is a JETRO, as I told you. So you can visit the Invest Japan website of the JETRO. That they have the most comprehensive source information. And if you are interested in the resource for Japanese language, actually there are many resources. Yeah, some of them are included in JETRO website also. But I would recommend to explore some YouTube channel to introduce the Japanese language or Japanese business conversation, something like that. There are so many of them. So you can start exploring those. That would be the good start. That's my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
would
So, Mr.
also
Shahid-
like to recommend, sorry, it's Madiha, that during the Japan IT Week, translators would be available to facilitate the interaction, as the time duration for learning Japanese language to the extent of actually conversing or doing business negotiations might not be suitable right now. But definitely, yes, the Pakistani companies and interested candidates can start learning the language by registering with language learning institutes. I will share the name or the contact details of a few of them with PSEB, and you may take it from them. However, translators will be available to facilitate the exhibitors on on the event.
One comment
Thank-
from Hajime Suzuki of Japan IT Week.
Yes.
So usually, around like 1 month before the event, so we do like an exhibitor seminar to tell what is going to be the best way to prepare about the show. For example, including about the Japanese business culture, how to exchange business cards, how to use like our badge scanning app, and also and we can also provide a lot of information which is inside our exhibitor manual. So when you confirm exhibiting, I can also do like a 30 minutes to 1 hour seminar to how to maximize your business at the exhibition, so that I can also help you expand your business to Japan.
Sure. Thank you, Hajime-san. So first, Mr. Shahid Yassin had a question he mentioned in the chat, followed by Mr. Shenawaz. So, Mr. Shahid Yassin, kindly share your question, please.
Oh, hi, my question is more to PSEB's personals. This is related to, I already applied for this exhibition and I already submitted all the detail. I'm calling from VisualSoft. And basically we have some contacts in Japan, and I just need to know that how long this process will take before we know whether we will be joining that seminar, so that we can contact those clients for the meetup during this event.
So, as I just mentioned, the deadline has been extended till 17th of January. So once we wrap up this, we can only send confirmation emails after that. So expect something by like in the week of January 25th. Not exactly that date, even maybe before that. So as soon as we wrap up the show, we'll be confirming that. You can start contacting your contacts or activate your networking scene in Japan. We are very hopeful that you'll be part of that as soon as the application process is over. So then we had Mr. Sher Nawaz who had a question? Mr. Shahnawaz, can you share your question, please?
And this is not available, so.
Maybe he had some issue with the mic. He mentioned in chat. So then there's Mr. Mohammed Junaid, Vice President of AI Society from City University of Science and Technology. How can we build a strong connection with Japan IT companies in terms of AI development? So as the presenters mentioned, Japan IT Week is one of the best platforms. You go there, you explore the market, you interact with the companies who are exhibiting at Japan IT Week. You meet them, you exchange your cards, you have present your skills or whatever you have, your past projects. So they know that you have the capacity, and then there starts the collaboration part. I hope this answers Mr. Junaid.
Yeah, so could I also add one thing? So for the Japanese point of view, so well, even though you can look at the website and have a lot of information, unless we meet, it's difficult to start the business. So that's why I recommend you to come to exhibition and also directly communicate with a person so that you can also gain some trust, who you are and what you want to do. And then you're going to be able to communicate in more details. That's why meeting face-to-face is going to be a very important point for doing more business in Japan.
Thank you. And one more comment on that, on what Hajime-san said. Once you are there, first you meet them, and then our embassy or trade consul, Ms. Madhya, she's very active. She can, help you get the connection to next level. But as a starting point, you have to, start the conversation yourself. That's the best way from Japanese market point of view. Then there's Mr. Jahangir Shah. What is the scope of full stack web development in Japan? I'm not sure who to ask this question to because Ms. Madhya.
Kubur-san, if you want to reply to this question, please. Yes.
Yes.
We'll go to the next question.
Next question.
Sorry, which presentation?
No, there was this question. What is the scope of full stack web development in Japan? So can you shed some light on that?
Oh, okay. What? Sorry, I could not hear well. Yeah, please repeat again.
Yeah. Full stack web development. It's this thing that this Mr. Who is this? Who wants to know about it? Let me just get his name. So Mr. Jahangir Shah wants to know that what is the scope of full stack web development in Japan?
Okay, web development, right? Yeah, actually, web development in Japan is a kind of major, market, and there are so many developers already. Yeah, get that already. Yeah, congested in Japan, so that I would say that there will not be a very good chance for foreign companies to do this, do business in this general web development market. Because one reason is that, though again, this is a very Japanese language specific development, so that you must develop everything in Japanese language. And in order to compete with the Japanese developers, it would be a tough competition, I would say. Am I answering the question, or?
Yes,
Can
I
I
think-
add over here that for the full stack web development, that's a very specific domain-centric, requirement. My take on this would be that there are cities like Fukuoka and Osaka and Tokyo, which are the main hubs. But however, specifically pertaining to this particular niche, there are opportunities. However, language and making your mark in that particular, there are multinationals operating as well, and the Japanese companies which are interested in full stack web development. But yet again, the same thing is that language is one of the main barriers. But
Yes.
nevertheless, a few companies, I believe, where they have hired engineers from Pakistan, yet data on the actual requirement of the specific domain is not available currently. If you require, I can look into this and get back to you. Please do share your contact or email with me so I can respond to your questions more thoroughly. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So I will share my email address in the chat box so that you can, yeah, contact me anytime.
Thank you. So there's another question from Mr. Sakib. Mr. Sakib Shamim wants to know, do we know if any Japanese IT companies has established an offshore development company in Pakistan to cater their software development requirements? So do we have any names of any Japanese companies who have set up offshore set up in Pakistan?
Yeah, actually, there is already several offshore companies doing business with the Pakistani ICT. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then there's Mr. Javed Hayat, which I believe Ms. Padilla has already answered that the line app.
If not,
Does the
yeah.
line has done? Yes, that is already answered. So I think don't have any more questions in the chat, and we've almost at the ending time. So Mr. Shah was just posted, if a client refuses to make a payment, how do Japanese law supporting to foreign company in recovering the amount? So anyone, Kubur-san, Ms. Madhya, anyone of you would like to take this question? That if a client refuses to make a payment, how do Japanese laws support the foreign companies in recovering that amount? So do you know of any such laws?
Actually, we've never come across Japanese so far defaulting, but nevertheless, there are always rules and, in the Japanese contract, whenever you sign a contract or an agreement with your partners, it does allow you to, get the payments through, but nevertheless, I will look into specifically for the IT sector, if there's any such provisions. Let me have a go through and get back to you on this.
I would second Madhya here. There have been no such cases since I have been at PSEB, because if there's an issue, it comes to PSEB. So we get in touch with the trade mission, and it's a whole process. But there were a few cases in Saudi, but none so far in Japan, as far as I know. So yeah, I would second that.
Thank you. So I think it's about time. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this call. Thank you special for all the speakers on board, Mr. Kaburu-san, Ms. Madhya, Jimmy-san, Umura-san, Mr. Shabazz. Thank you very much. I'll be sharing the recording of this session after this session is over, along with the pitch deck. And if you have any queries, any questions, kindly respond to that email, and we'll have those answered in due time. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Have a good evening and a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.